and welcome back to this, also known as Slightly Scripted. Called Slightly Scripted because I have a list of stuff, which is like a script, but not a script. Called Slightly because I don't have an editing program. Doesn't really count. Actually, that's the complete wrong definition of the word slightly, but I don't care. So, as promised, at the end of the last video, I wanted to discuss why Sir Mix Alots' 1992 hit, Baby Got Back, applies more today than it did in 1992. Now let's think back. What did 1992 have? Well, besides my baby sister Erica being born, yay! 1992 pretty much only had Madonna, Faith Hill, I think, and Shania Twain. The song applies to Shania Twain. It's the only person from 1992 I can think of, because Baby Got Booty. Anyways, top 4 reasons that I Like Big Butts applies more today. Reason number 1, Kim Kardashian. Reason number 2, Jennifer Lopez. Reason number 3, Al Roker. And reason number 4, Tyra Banks. If any of you are watching and felt that I used your name, then you are correct. I did use your name, because it's on the list. And you're a public figure. I can use your name and not worry about getting sued. It's only for some reason in comics, like in Betty and Veronica or any of the Archie comics, for some reason whenever they talk about a movie star, they don't use the movie star's actual name and look unless they get permission from the movie star. And so, like, instead of going on a date with Mel Gibson, I'm going on a date with Mel Slabson, which sounds different, but I guess it's technically the same? What? I don't know. What's Veronica even doing dating Mel Gibson? I kid you not. There is an issue of Betty Veronica where Betty goes on a date with a Mel Gibson comic book character. Very weird. Guy's like old enough to be her father. But she's also existed since the 1950s, so technically she's old enough to be his mother. I think. I don't know how old Mel Gibson is. Okay, so today's my Mark and Brian radio program ripoff, yay, with a list, is 1980s movies originally released and then the re-release. Now, I was actually disappointed with this list that I got from Yahoo because there are some incorrections. There are some things that are not correct. Alright, 80s remake movie number 1, Clash of the Titans. Originally released in 1981 and to be re-released Friday, I think, 2010. Anyways, I'm not seeing this movie. The original has a special place in my heart. The cheese is enduring. Medusa, the mechanical little owl thingy. I loved all those things. Why take them away? I don't know. They just feel like they're doing this for the better, I guess. I don't know. And the claymation with Zeus playing with the little clay people at the beginning. Awesome! Robot Chicken did a parody of that with a monster truck, and it was awesome! My hat's off to Seth Green. Congratulations on your engagement. Next, The Karate Kid. Originally released in 1984, the remake to be released in 2010. I don't know if this is actually technically a reboot or not. For it to be a reboot, the guy who was originally the Karate Kid would have to be in it, I think. And I think he actually was supposed to be dead by the third one, because I think he was actually supposed to be the father of the girl one. You know, the girl who had the bangs and the hair. She's like, oh no, my hair doesn't go with my nose. And Mr. Miyagi was like, your nose is fine, you're very pretty. And then they had the monks in the bowling alley. When I get an editing system, when I say stuff like that, it's going to cut to a clip of that. Won't that be awesome? Actually, I have an editing system on my Mac, I just don't know how to use it. I will learn how to use it. I will sign up for classes at Macintosh, the Apple Store. Next, Tron. Originally released in 1982, re-release 2010. That's a reboot. That one is definitely a reboot. It's actually a sequel to the first one and also a reboot at the same time because Jeff Bridges? Obadiah Stane from Iron Man was in the original one. He played Flynn, who owned Flynn's Arcade, and he's still playing Flynn, and his son has to go save him out of Tron, out of the video game, which sounds like another movie. And when I remember that movie, I'll mention it. Even if it's 3 videos from now, I'll refer back to this one. Next, The A-Team. TV series from 1983 to 1987. The movie was released in 2010. That's different. That's like the Dukes of Hazzard. You know, it was a TV show and then they had a movie with Jessica Simpson that no one saw. That's also like Mission Impossible. The Mission Impossible television series ran from 1988 to 1989. And then the movie premiering in 1996 starred Tom Cruise and has had like, what, 3 or 4 sequels? So there's been 3 or 4 sequels of that. And actually John DeLancie from Star Trek's Next Generation was in the very first episode of the Mission Impossible series called The Killer. He wore a tuxedo. He looked very handsome. Speaking of Star Trek, I'm surprised that they don't have Star Trek on this list if they're including the A-Team, because the Star Trek original television series ran from 1966 to 1968, and then I think the first movie came out like 1970, and then the movie that we know now for the young people with the lens flare was released in 2009. You know, the Muppet movies should also be included on this list, like The Muppets Take Manhattan from 1984, Muppets from Space in 1999, Muppet Treasure Island in 96, because they have a new movie coming out, I think, in 2010, 2011, called The Muppets Low Budget Movie, or something like that. I don't know, check IMDb, I ain't an internet professional. Next on the list was Fame, originally released in 1980, the remake released in 2009. Didn't see the original, didn't see the remake. Both flopped, I assume. Next is Friday the 13th, originally released 1980, re-released 2009. Didn't see either of those. Too scary for me. Nightmare on Elm Street, originally released in 1984, to be remade and released in 2010. Once again, I didn't see that because too scary. Although if you come in while I'm working at the comic book store at Dream World, we do have a little Freddy Krueger figure, and if you buy it, I get to keep my job. Oh, also, I was surprised to see that the Rocky movies weren't on this list, because the Rocky movie was made in 1976, and then it had the 3 sequels. Then the 4th one came out in 2006 with Milo Ventimiglia from Heroes. So you're like, oh my gosh, it's Rocky Balboa. I don't want to see Sylvester Stallone, but oh my gosh, it's Milo Ventimiglia. He's from Heroes. He can fly. And I guess he's evil now this season. I don't know. I don't watch the show anymore. I lost interest after the 2nd season. I need to catch up. Speaking of which, we had a set of the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd seasons, a box set at the comic book store I was planning on getting. And with my employee discount, it was only going to be $20, and I didn't get it. And someone else bought it, and so I'm sad. Anyways, that's today's Slightly Scripted. Next time, some more crap.